You ever see Basketcase? Like, have you ever seen that movie, guys? Has anybody ever seen that movie? I mean, I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. But I know it involves something like this. That would involve something like that. Oh, sweet Lord baby Jesus. Born on a manger on December 25th. God has truly forsaken this game. God has truly forsaken us killer mains, bruh. Truly has forsaken us. Oh, sweet Lord. Oh, God, guys. Every time I come on here, I go, wow, behavior truly cannot top themselves with how awful their design is. And then every time we get a new one, is the new killer really that bad? Oh, let's go into it, bruh. Let's go into it. Okay, boys. We'll get to the new killer, bruh. Let's go over the rest of this crap before we get into the new killer. So we got reworked Ormond and reworked Atheist, and from what I've seen, the maps look better. Ormond is, upon first glance, you can already tell Ormond's nerfed. That being said, I can't really tell how nerfed it is. It doesn't look too great still. They did not do my suggestion of moving the damn building away from the center. I cannot tell if the map is shrunk just from watching. I'd have to play it myself, but so I really can't tell. But Atheist, the area around the Blood Lodge looks a little bit better. The spacing seems a bit better. They created an annoying god loop that you have to break with the fucking breakable walls. So a lot of bad use of the breakable still. Behavior's modern map design. It's one of those things where I can't really give an analysis one way or the other on those maps. They look better, but I can't tell if they're good or bad yet. Okay. Now, the behavior never put out a thing detailing every other change that's coming. All we've gotten is the PTB with the 6 perks and the killer. So there's really not a whole lot to unpack here as there have been with some of these other ones. So we'll go right into this, bro. Let's start with these fucking perks, okay? These perks are laughable. For real. All of these perks are horrendously bad. Okay? We'll start with the fucking survivor perks. Now, to be fair, they can be gimmicks, but all in all, in terms of the meta, these are all bad. Appraisal. Start the trial with 3 tokens. When a chest has already been opened, consume a token to search for an item. Great. More keys. More keys, bruh. All that means is they have another chance to search for a key with Plunderer's Instinct. Like, horrible. Horrible, 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 horrible. I feel like the Killer's Clause should have been moved over to this one. The one on Hoarder should be on this one right here. All it does right now is help you search and find a random key. It literally gives you 3 more chances to find a random ass key. Horrendous game design. If you want to promote keys, I don't know how the keys aren't gone yet. I don't know why we keep making shit that promotes their usage. But whatever. Forget it. Bad. Not going to help the meta except for that key bullshit. Deception. Another spirit counterplay perk. I know there's like 7 of these, but survivors like to keep pretending that there's not any. So every time they release something that counterplays the spirit, I like to say it. Deception. Another spirit counterplay perk. Interacting with a locker while sprinting will trigger a loud noise notification at your location and cause you to leave. No scratch marks for 3 seconds. You no longer enter lockers while sprinting and while this perk is active. So basically, you get a loud noise notification and no scratch marks. So the killer, the spirit, has to guess if you went into the locker or not. So, interesting. You can no longer enter lockers while sprinting. So I thought this had head-on synergy. It kind of doesn't. It kind of doesn't. This is purely just a dance with me for lockers. Doesn't seem like it's going to be that great, especially since the only thing it's going to do is counter the spirit. But, who cares? Survivors are going to keep saying there's no spirit counterplay regardless, so it doesn't matter. Next, the standout perk for survivors, Power Struggle. When reaching 25% wiggle progress, Power Struggle activates, and then you can drop the pallet and stun the killer yourself. The pirate? I don't know. I don't know about that. But basically, what this does is, I think the devs really had an undersight here with this perk. They were thinking like, wow, this seems really good. Okay, flip-flop lets the meter go up to 50%. So basically, if you're running flip-flop, you can cause Power Struggle to be active as soon as a pickup happens. Especially if you're an SWF and your teammates around the pallet. The killer cannot pick you up when your teammates are around the fucking pallet. And then when they finally do pick you up, and then when you say on your comms, hey, my Power Struggle's ready, go ahead and leave. Like, the killer, that's a lose-lose situation for the killer. A true underside, I'm hoping they make that at least 55. But, whatever. If they don't, I really doubt that Flip-Flop and Power Struggle is going to be the new DS Unbreakable. I highly doubt it. It'll be a gimmick that you barely see, and even when you do, it's only going to really work in SWF. So, I don't like it. I don't like that synergy, that type of lose-lose synergy that this perk brings. But it'll be alright. I don't think this is going to do much. That was a Salmonation joke. That was a Tommy Jarvis perk. So all in all, except for like Power Struggle, I think these are really underwhelming. Power Struggle flip-flop synergy is going to be annoying, but that's all it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be super meta. It'll be a gimmick, but that's about it. I'm not too worried about it, but at the same time, I don't like that synergy. I don't like the synergy that this perk brings to the table. I really wish that behavior would avoid lose-lose situations for everybody. I don't understand why we keep doing stuff like this. Okay, so those are the Survivor perks. Very, very not much to go over. Very, very not much to go over. Let's get to these shitty killer perks. Because once again, the killer perks aren't that great. Hoarder, this perk is shit. Spawns in 2 more chests and gives you a loud noise notification when they interact with a chest from 48 meters of the location. Okay, that's not a perk slot at all. Literally at all. Like this is the kind of bad shit that it's just boring bad. It's not like scream off the top of my lungs and like blood favor. You wonder like behavior. What the fuck are you doing? It's kind of like just boring bad. It's like, wow, you get a loud noise notification when someone watches a chest and you give them a base shiny coin. Like, wow, who cares, bruh? I really don't care about this perk. I'm not like no killer is ever gonna run this shit for real. 0. Okay. Next, everyone's talking about these last 2. I don't get it. I really don't get it, guys. Oppression. When you do damage to a generator, 3 other random gens across the map begin regressing. Okay. Immediately, this perk has already just said, hi guys, I'm unreliable. Don't use me. 3 random gens across the map. I mean, I guess the RNG is in your favor that you'll hit something, especially as gens go down and there's like 4 left. It'll hit everything, but like, I guess it's not the most unreliable thing in the world. But sometimes it might just hit the wrong one at the very beginning. There's 7 gens on the map, so when you kick 1, 3 others start regressing, right? Yeah, so like, this could potentially just miss. Also, another thing that's bad is, when you damage a generator. Okay, in the Ruin Undying meta, what the fuck are you damaging gens for? Run Ruin Undying. You don't need this shit. And then, like, when you kick a gen, so when Ruin Undying get cleansed, this is gonna be your late game perk. You're gonna give Pop Goes the Weasel up for this. This is in Pop Goes the Weasel territory. But you gotta use oppression to apply pressure, bruh. Behavior is rewarding me with a good regression perk. Yeah, no. This is shit, Scott John. I'm sorry, dude. This is really bad. This is really, really shit. Like, this isn't just shit. This is really, really shit. Like, this is really, 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 really shit. Okay? And the reason why I'm saying it's really, really shit is like, bruh, who cares? Like, other gens start regressing. Hey guys, did we just all forget how bad base regression is? Base regression is shit. I don't want a perk that applies base regression to 4 gens. I don't want that. Base regression sucks my dick, bruh. I'd rather have a perk that applies 1.5x regression or ruin regression. How about that? How about you have a perk that can actually replace Pop Goes the Weasel by applying a bigger penalty to their regression? How about that? So if Ruin Undying goes away, then you could have this pick up the late game in terms of the regression. As it is, this perk is fucking useless. For real. Any survivors repairing these gens are given a difficult skill check. Yeah, so they can hit it, and then so they can hit it, guys, and then keep going. Yeah, this is useless. This is not only useless, this is extremely bad. And the most dangerous thing about a perk like this is it has people fooled. Well, you're right, Scott John. It's not fun for SWF, but it would be more fair. It would be more fair to have the gen progression actually be more pressuring. You know, maybe if base regression gets a buff, maybe this perk will be good like a year from now, but right now, no. Right now, this is awful. This is awful. So, great. Every perk in this chapter has been either a gimmick or terrible. Okay, what's the last piece of shit perk? Coup de grace. You get an extended, for every generator that gets completed, you get a token, and then you get an extended lunge by 100%. Okay? The extended lunge actually isn't bad. This is the best perk for the killers of the chapter. The extended lunge actually isn't bad, and you can do a lot of damage with it. However, the issue, my dear friends, is that you only get 1 token per popping a gen. Why does it have to trigger off of something that they do? Why can't it trigger off of, I don't know, every 2 hooks? Then you get a token. How about that? Every 2 hooks, I could get a token for it. That way, like, I could actually use this more than 2 times a game. The best killer based on personal perks is, either, I don't know. The problem is nobody has base gen regression. Nobody has good gen regression. So, like, who's the best perk killer based on base perks by themselves? The Hag. Because the Hag has Ruin and Ruin Defense within her 3 perk build. If you're Hag's the best adept. But okay, so that's shit. But because this perk only triggers off of something the survivors do, it's not going to be that useful. You only get 5 per game maximum, and if you're winning, this perk didn't do anything for you. You'd much rather run Ruin Undying and Pop and to stop the gens from getting done, rather than give you a boost when a gen is getting done. Why can't this perk trigger off of hooks? Every 2 hooks, or you know what? Maybe even every 4 hits or something. Every 4 basic attacks. I thought, wait, well, worse since they can be destroyed. I mean, yeah, but like, Boatmeal, there's no good gen defense in this game. 0. Every killer at red rank gets shreked by their lack of gen defense. You need to run, you have to run their builds together. So there's like 3 base perks, 0. Nobody's good with their base perks by themselves, because no base build is viable. 0. The Hag has Ruin and Clown has Pop, but Clown's like so trash that he's horrible, so who's left? So the lunge is good. I just wish it was a different activation condition to get the lunge. I just wish you accumulated tokens a different way. It's like fucking, you're in fucking Cruel Limits territory, but at least they realize that the killer should get the boost. And you know what? The extended lunge actually isn't bad. So it's actually might be worth kind of working with. Out of all the perks in the chapter, Coup de Grace is the one that's worth working with the most if you're a killer. Oppression is trash. Do not be fooled by Oppression, please. A lot of killers are saying this isn't bad. It's horrible. Do not listen to them at all. It's horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Base regression sucks. The only thing that it does well with is combo with surveillance. So you could do Ruin Undying surveillance oppression if you really think that's strong enough to carry. That's the only thing oppression can do that's actually okay. But I wish they would. Oppression would be perfect if they just buffed its regression on the gens. But since they're not doing, I'm hoping that's what they'll do. If they give it a buff, If they give it a buff to where it buffs the regression on the gens while it's active, then sure, it might be alright. But until they do that, it's shit. Okay, so yeah, a very boring selection of perks. A very disappointing selection of perks. You can get more tokens by lunging more. The longer you lunge, the more tokens you gain based on how much you have, possibly. Well, I see, here's the thing. An extended lunge, I've seen coup de grace do damage. I've seen people play with it. It's actually, the extended lunge is actually really good. So, like, I mean, SWF could probably handle it. I'm not gonna lie, SWF could probably handle coup de grace if it was 1 token per hook. I would lab that. I'd throw it in the game and see what it did. But as of now, with the activation condition of survivors have to get gens done on you, it's bad. It might be fun on tier 3 Myers though, because he already has an extended lunge. So like boosting his lunge by 100%, that could be cute. It definitely has the most potential on Myers, I think. Coup de grace on infinite tier 3 Myers, boys. Since that's because like that would be really fun. Since like you're not really doing much until you infinite tier 3, you can have like free tokens when you tier up to infinite tier 3. It might be cute on him. It might be cute on him. We'll see. I don't know what perk you're talking about, my guy. There's not a Legion perk that really meets that description. Okay, now let's get into the meat. Oh, it's fire up and it's trash. That's fire up and it's terrible. Usually those gen perks are all really bad. But anyway, we're done with these perks. They're boring and they suck. Let's get into what you guys came here, which is my analysis of the fucking killer. All right. I've heard everybody in this community just sucking this killer off and saying that they're great. The twins. Okay. So let's talk about the twins, okay? When I first saw the twins, the first thing that I thought of was Identity V's Dream Witch. If you all have played or watched Identity V, I'm sure you haven't, because if we all watched Identity V, we would know what a competitive scene for a game like this looks like. But you know, well, that's beside the point. Okay, it's not exactly like Dream Witch, but the comparison is there. Basically, there's a main body. Dream Witch plays like this. There's a main body that spawns followers off, and the followers run around the map and do stuff for her. She has to latch onto the survivors to create the followers, and then the followers becomes like obsessed with this. Like, Dream Witch is really complicated. But so like, I don't want to just explain Dream Witch to you. All I want you to understand about Dream Witch is that she is similar to the twins. Okay? And the Dream Witch is actually really, really good in Identity V. I don't know. I know she just got nerfed, and her nerfs actually seem pretty big. So I don't know if she's still good now. But she was good enough to where she had to take a nerf. So like, what this unique kind of pressure that the twins are capable of bringing to this game is good. And this is actually an idea that I had for what I wish they would do with Legion. Like, this is the kind of my suggestion for the Legion rework, so that's kind of out now, since they're obviously not going to do it, because the twins kind of got it. But, this pressure they have, it can be good, alright? However, they need adjustments. They need adjustments. There are so many critical ways that these two get shit on. Very, very harsh ways to get shit on as well. Okay? They're very, very gimmicky, and they can get shit on really, really quick. Okay? So, let's talk about what the problems are. I've been watching them pretty much all day. I've watched many people, some I don't usually watch. I actually watched Otofu play a game today. I've watched many different players play them, and some I don't usually watch. I watched Monto today. That's how desperate I was to watch these two. I watched Monto play, and Monto sucks. Okay? So, upon a few games of analysis, it's very clear that there's way too much counterplay here. The survivors were granted a 5-star gourmet steak of counterplay with these guys. True Talent even said that this is the most bullyable character that's come out to date. Okay? Why are they bullyable? Okay? The main reason that they are so bullyable in their current state is that the lockers shit on Victor. If you jump in a locker, Victor can do absolutely nothing to you. And this is a very, very big problem, because Charlotte is base 115 movement speed, no power, 0. So all you have to do to beat these guys is Victor's on you. Basically my point, okay, before I get into that, the point is you don't have to understand these two very much to counterplay them. Very, very hard. Okay, so all you need to do to beat these guys is you see Victor's out, okay? What you need to be doing is getting him some distance from Charlotte, and then once you have distance from Charlotte, jump in a locker. Victor cannot get you. Victor has no play but to either leave you or go back to Charlotte. Upon going back to Charlotte, you, the survivor in the locker, get a noise cue that Victor is not being controlled anymore. Upon Victor not being controlled anymore, you freely get to get out of the locker and kick him in the fucking face. And then once you kick him in the fucking face, you instantly broke Chase. Instantly. It's really not hard. And nobody I've seen, except True, of course, is pointing this out. Fucking Monta was even like, lockers don't counter them so bad because Charlotte will know where you are. Big fucking whoop! Charlotte's wasting her time! And what's she gonna do? Send Victor out again? So you can jump right back into another locker and the process can repeat itself? Victor has to be able to do something about lockers. The fact that lockers shit on these two so hard right now is the main reason that a top level team will never get down. They will never get down. Optimize, yeah, of course, because they can't be downed. But like, see, that's my point though. So you don't have to understand how to dodge Victor if you know that lockers kick his ass. All you have to do against the baby is go into a locker and then kick him. But I'm sure you think he does, Scott John. I'm sure you think he does. And I really think this was an undersight on the devs. I really think the devs didn't understand this. Okay? And like, why is that important? Because lockers shitting on the character that hard turns Charlotte to base 115 with no power. You don't have to understand Victor to dodge him. You don't have to. You don't have to actually interact with the player with the Twins player to actually beat them. You just break distance from Charlotte. Holding W is good in this game. It always has been good. So all you have to do is hold W, wait, get some distance on Charlotte, and then jump in a locker. Okay? Now, to be fair, Charlotte and Victor can do some cute stuff. I've seen them make cute plays. Victor can go over pallets. Victor can go over windows. Charlotte can body block a pallet, and so can Victor, so they can help each other get you. They have some gimmicky shit. They have some dirt. However, the fact that you don't even have to understand them to beat them right now is really disgusting and really a huge undersight on the devs. Or is it an oversight? I don't know. The devs screwed up, is my point. And like everyone's saying, like I watched one guy say, "Wow, these killers are so good. They're really good." No, they're not. Even another Terrico even said, "Wow, these killers are really good. They're really good design." This is horrendous design. This is not only bad design, but this is some of Behavior's worst design ever. Because that's only the first critical oversight that they have. There's another critical oversight that they left in as well. Again, this is PTB. Like, I'm not going to judge this character so harshly, because I know they can be good. The pressure that they can bring to the table can be good. But in their current form, they have two critical exploits. The locker's the first one. Second, I call it the Yoda strat. Okay? Basically, the problem here is that when Victor does the initial hit, if you use Victor to complete the initial hit, he latches on to the survivor, okay? They then have to go through an animation where they have to free themselves from him, and then they throw him on the ground. Victor, when attached to a survivor, causes broken... Shit, what is it? It's broken... There's a new status effect too, but there's another one. Is it hemorrhage? Is that what it is, guys? Hold on. Let me look it up. There's a new status effect. It inflicts broken when Victor's latched onto you. Oblivious, that's what it is. Is it Oblivious? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's Oblivious, isn't it? Let me read it, Oates. Yeah, broken, oblivious, and a new status effect called incapacitated. During incapacitated, you cannot drop pallets, and you cannot enter lockers, and you can't leave the game. Those are the three main things, I believe. Now, it's kind of hard for a console player to get this info when you don't have any PC friends, but like, those, I believe, are the three main things that it does. Okay, one problem here. No exhaustion. So they can still dead hard to windows and make distance and use light, make distance, and use balance landing, make distance. They can still like have a decent chase because they still get their exhaustion perks. Okay, and then they can, of course, they can just hide the whole match. They can just hide from you a majority of the game, because and this is a problem. I call it the Yoda because basically you could abduct Victor from Charlotte and hold her hostage. It happened to True Talent today. A 4-man SWF abducted Victor and held him hostage the entire game. Go watch it on True's stream today. True was fucking bullied to shit on Haddonfield today with this character. Because he used Victor, he hit a clean hit, and then, oh, you don't get him, bro. You do not get him. And I heard someone said I don't know, chat could have been wrong, and they said you couldn't repair gens while you were incapacitated, which might be true, but even then, that doesn't make the strat non-viable. All you have to do is do an early gen rush, and then when there's like two or one gen left, abduct Victor and then hold him hostage, and he can't do anything. Okay? The fact that Charlotte cannot manually call Victor back is really, really bad. It's crippling. It's crippling. Because 4-man swept squads will just hold Victor hostage the entire game. And no one is talking about this. Literally no one is talking about this. If you hold Victor hostage from Charlotte the entire game, Charlotte's base 115 with no power. And that's horrendous. These are the two critical exploits that make this character really, really, really bad right now. Okay? And the really sad thing about it is if they go in the game like this, it is very likely that they will be a C tier character. Okay? Possibly low B. I don't want to take their dirt away from them because they do have a lot of cool plays and they do have a lot of dirt. However, there's a ceiling that they will have as long as these two critical flaws are in the game. The locker thing and the Yoda. The Yoda strap where you just abduct him the whole time. Okay? So we need to go over some possible fixes to this kind of stuff. Okay? So let's go over them. I have a few propositions here, okay? Okay. The first one I just said, need a button to call Victor back to Charlotte manually. If Victor can be called back to Charlotte manually by pressing a button, that will not let the Yoda strat be a thing. So that'll take that out. You can't just abduct him the whole game. If Charlotte's realizing, if the Twins player is realizing that like people are abducting Victor the entire game, they can just manually call him back. Okay? Incapacitated, broken, and oblivious is not worth having no power. It's not worth it. And that's really bad, and it will be a crippling thing. Okay? So, that's one possible solution. Next, Charlotte's basic attacks could apply the incapacitated status effect. But you would nerf the incapacitated status effect to where they could drop pallets. The only thing that's important here is that they can't go in lockers. Because they need to have some counterplay to lockers. As long as Victor is trash at lockers, this character is limited. No matter how good they are other than that. Victor being bad at lockers is really, really bad for this character. I don't know. I'm still fuzzy with that one because incapacited's a new thing that they're trying to push, and Charlotte's basic attacks applying it might not be what they want to do. But the easiest solution to do is just have Victor being able to go into the locker. I do not understand why Victor can't go into lockers. He's got fucking thumbs. The fucking thing can open the locker. Open the locker and then like the thing that you could do is have him either injure them, just something. Victor going into a locker could do one health state and just latch onto him. Like that's something you could do. Or if they're injured, they go down. That's something you could do. He can only do one health state, or he could just instant down them. Instead of being able to just pick them up, he could just instant down them. Like, that's something you could do. The problem is Victor has to do something to lockers, because this jump into a locker shit is not only like crippling the character, but it's also just stupid. It requires you not to have to know a lot about them, and you don't have to understand the two of them to beat them. So that locker shit has really got to go. Next, another buff, a buff to Charlotte. This is another thing to help deal with the Yoda strategy. If Victor is latched onto a survivor, Charlotte has 150 movement speed. 150, yes, I said that. You could take Victor off in like 6 seconds. If you're gonna hold Victor hostage the entire game, Charlotte should get a massive buff to compensate. 150% movement speed seems justified, and the reason is that, like, wow, Charlotte's separated from Victor. They're Siamese twins, bro. They've been they've been their whole lives together, right? So if Victor's not there, Charlotte should get a massive buff. It would encourage the survivors to remove Victor, which to do what you're intended to do when he's on you, because you're intended to get rid of him, not just hold him hostage. And so giving Charlotte 150 movement speed would be a very quick way to encourage survivors to remove Victor. Only when who's the new killer? Oh, they're called the twins. They're really weird. And then next, final suggestion I have is that Victor shouldn't die when he lands on something. That's really dumb. If anyone doesn't know, if Victor lands on something taller than himself, he just dies. And that's really silly. Just get rid of that. It's not needed. It's really not needed. Just you can get some cute little angles. It would help him out a little bit, and it does something. It does other weird things with verticality. I don't know. Also, another change I would make is that when Victor is being controlled, he has 2 points of health instead of just 1. This Victor's dash looks hard to hit, and everybody universally, the commonality I've seen from everybody is that Victor is hard. Victor is hard, his pounce is hard to hit. Okay? Now it's fine, it's really fine, but in their current form, that extra counterplay isn't needed. Now if you give him like 15 other buffs, then maybe that will be justified. But right now, there's just too much counterplay. You have to get rid of something. Survivors don't need all of this. And the 2 biggest things I think you can get rid of are the 2 crippling exploits. That being the Yoda strategy and the lockers thing. The lockers thing, if these 2 go in the way they are right now, they are low, mid, top of C, one or the other. Because for all the unique things they bring to the table, they have a lot of unique problems. And these unique problems will hinder them from ever being good in their current form. It's very sad too. Like they could potentially be the worst killer in the game if they go in like this. I'm sorry guys, I'm not gonna suck their dick. Everybody else has been sucking their dick today about how great design these 2 are. They are horrendous design. They are example of the behavior going. I guarantee you the reason the locker strategy is in the game is that behavior didn't think the survivors had a lot of counterplay to Victor. They were saying, well, he goes over lockers, he goes over pallets. Well, he shouldn't be able to go into locker. Survivors have to do something. Well, here's the thing. How about this? Victor's pounce is horribly hard to hit. So that's the counterplay. He can back rev you. But it's hard to do. It's hard to hit. That's the counterplay. That's the interaction. And Charlotte's base 115, so she doesn't bring a lot to the table. And when you're carrying a character off of a pounce, you can't give too much counterplay to it. And all you have to do, the difference between Victor and Hillbilly is that when fucking Hillbilly misses, he can just rev up his chainsaw and do it again. Whereas when Victor misses, you can run up to his sorry ass and kick him, and then he's gone. So you just have to make 1 read on the killer to get rid of Victor. My point is there's too much here. Survivors have too much they can do to shut this character down. 2 of them being crippling exploits to the character's core design. And if that doesn't change, this killer's gonna get shat on. And you know what? Behavior's in no position right now to release a killer like this when the player base is mad. Okay? Now again, this has potential. If they clean this character up, we have a very unique character that might break into high tier over time. It might take a little bit because they're complex, and obviously, for me to actually sit here and tell you what position they are on a tier list right now is kind of a joke, but the thing I will say right now is, in their current form, the locker shit and the strat where you hold Victor, there's too much counterplay here, and they have a ceiling. They're never going to break out of mid-tier without this, and I promise you that. When you look at how much counterplay they have, and then you look at somebody like a fucking Spirit or an Oni, and you go, why the fuck would I ever play this character? There's no reason to play this garbage when Hag exists, and when Oni exists, and when Spirit exists. They have to get rid of some of this counterplay. It's way, way, way too much. They went extremely overboard here. And that's really all I could say without repeating myself 55 times. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the hell out of here. I'm about to stream, so we'll do that. But there's too much counterplay here. Fun idea, good concept, needs work. Needs a lot of work and a lot of adjustments. But hey, that's what these PTBs are for. So I'm not gonna just shit on the devs yet. They have an idea here. People like them. People like Victor especially. Do something with them. Don't just kill off these two and let them die against at the red ranks. You have an idea here. You have good pressure here. The potential for good pressure is there. I've seen it. Work on it. Make it consistent. GG's, boys.